Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and always an honor to meet people who are movers and shakers in the world, who are making a positive impact in all their endeavors. And I am so excited to have a chat with a wonderful person. She is the CEO of Vista Caballo, and we're going to talk more about her journey and about the incredible experience as extended through her company, Vista Caballo. Please welcome Jess Arie to the show. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great, Nikki. Thanks so much for having me here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. It's really appreciated. Lisa, you are an amazing teacher and mentor, and I connected with you not too long ago and really felt a synergy. And I would love to know more about your journey leading up to becoming the founder of Vista Caballo.
Oh my gosh, it's quite an amazing story. How much time do we have?
About 30 minutes.
Okay. What specifically would help your audience, Nikki, to know when you say, the journey leading up to becoming the CEO?
I think, Lisa, it would be really interesting to know where was your road to Damascus moment where you realized that everything you're doing was leading up to why, the purpose, the plan for Vista Caballo. What happened in your life that made you understand you needed to do this?
Yeah, I was living life at a very high level as far as achievement, and I was diagnosed with a terminal disease, and that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call. Everything's fine, many decades ago, and I am as healthy as the horses that I'm living with right now. So, but the wake-up was the realization in that moment was, wait a minute, I actually haven't lived life. I have survived, albeit at a very high level, but the undercurrent of fear that drove me to achieve led me to a life of surviving at a very high level, is sort of with these little check marks on achievement to let me know that I was sort of on that right path. But it really wasn't about living life at all. And when I woke up to that realization, I was crushed. I was devastated. I was like, oh my gosh, I've missed the entire ride. And so they didn't know how much time I had left. So I thought, well, with whatever time I have left, I'm going to switch gears. And I'm going to live life fully. And it's not about achievement, just about connecting to and living life. And, of course, I had no idea what that meant. None. And I had no idea how to do it. And there was no Vista Caballo that I could go to that could teach me. So I very fortunately fell into a herd of horses, and everything that I had been missing in life that I was trying to get from that achievement, I found there. I found connection. I found truth. I found acceptance of who I was, not only from them, but from myself. And my life transformed. And miraculously, I stopped dying as I started living. So that is what led me to open up Vista Caballo. It was a many-year journey, and Vista Caballo is basically an encapsulation of that journey, so you don't have to take many years to find that and discover it. You can come here and discover it in a few minutes or a few days. So that was my impulse to open Vista Caballo. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe even if there's one other person out on the planet who wants to walk through this door of transformation and really discover what living life is all about and connecting to life is all about, and the incredible transformation that happens when you discover that, then I'm all about it. And that's been about 15 and a half, going on 16 years here in September.
Amazing, amazing. So, Lisa, your husband and yourself, his name is Jess. You run the Vista Caballo, and it's beautifully located on the western slope of the Rocky Mountains in the Great Sage Plains. Now, how gorgeous is that?
It's pretty gorgeous, especially when it rains. Everything
Fantastic.
smells
So you
like sage.
Wow. So how many horses do you have there?
We have 11 horses in our herd right now. They're all incredible and amazing. They've come to us from many different places, but they have formed an incredible herd. So they roam free on the 160 acres here, and when you come here, you roam free with them.
I love it. I love it. So what you've done is you've created like an innovative leadership and human development framework through Vista Caballo. So please describe to us what that is about.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Such a great question. So, again, what I learned, I found at my edge. I mean, that was, to me, the quintessential edge, right? When you're facing your own mortality, that is
of course
the edge of all edges. And to find that potency and that truth and that revelation was transformative. Well, every single one of us have an edge. And our edges move depending on our comfort zones. And so the foundational teachings at Vista Caballo really teaches you how to access your best at your edge. So as the edges move, as the terrain beneath your feet changes, as we wake up and all of a sudden we're in the middle of COVID, as you know, these moments happen, you can immediately switch gears to stay grounded, to stay present, and to make vastly different decisions than if you were in that automatic sort of reactive thinking. So it's sort of a responsive way of being versus a reactive way of thinking. And it will transform you. It will transform your entire approach. So as I mentioned, it's very foundational. We started in the experiential work with the horses, and hands down, there is nothing like it, nothing. From there, we developed a digital platform that you can access online, that you can discover how you subconsciously make decisions when you're out of your comfort zone. It will identify that for you. It will bring it to a conscious state, and it will provide you a development framework, 3 minutes a day, so that you can change, you can transform your approach from that subconscious type of thinking to a new type of conscious thinking. So
I love it. I love it. This is really incredible. And as I'm, having a better understanding, and from what you shared with me through, your website, I understand that, horses, they immediately sense if they should approach a situation. I guess, would you call it intuitive? But they have a knowing, right? And they know if they should flee or fight or run. And through this framework, I guess it helps people to recognize their own emotional core. Yes, very astute.
Okay. Horses, they analyze information different than we do. So the human brain analyzes data. That's what our brains like to do. The horses, they interpret the environment. So we are just part of their environment. And many of us have disconnected from our not only our truth, but like our core selves. We've done whatever we have to survive, for self-preservation. So if we're supposed to behave a certain way, we're probably going to get our foundational survival needs met. We then, after time, that habit of self-preservation can often become a persona. It's not our truth, but it's who we become to interact with each other. So the horses just will read us as the environment and will respond to us as what they see. It's like a living simulator. It's like a living 360. So they have no agenda, right? Your title, your status, any of that, none of that matters to them. What matters to them is, are you present and are you real? Now, that's a vastly different interaction than we usually get with each other as humans. And so to have that experience, your entire neurobiology changes. To be able to, stand in that energy field, no pun intended, but, to be able to stand in that field with them and get a different sense of yourself. You get right to the core of who you really are and how you, from your core, interact. From your heart, how you interact. Because the data is not going to be in your brain. You're going to have to start to rely on your other intelligence systems. We are incredibly intelligent beings, but we usually only rely on one of our intelligence systems, one of our brains, the one in our skull. And that's just there to analyze the data. We have another brain in our chest called the heart. Real information comes in from the heart to the brain, 40,000 neurons from the heart to the brain. So it's a very real experience of all of your, and of course we've got our instinct, the brain in our stomach. So all of your intelligence system activate, and you get an experience of yourself fully activated, which is what most of us are trying to get to through achievement, right, or development. We're trying to be our best selves. We're trying to be the greatest expressions of who we are. We're trying to access that potential and have an experience of life from that place. Well, this opens that door in an instant.
Of course. It helps you elevate to a higher level of consciousness than you've ever experienced. Yes. Correct. And I love what you said about, being so focused on the knowledge. I mean, knowledge is good, but it's not all of it. It's not the whole experience of life, and you have to, detach yourself from all that you've learned and reprogram to what you instinctively know, from your heart knowledge. So I think that's incredible wisdom, and I think what you have is just really outstanding and so evolutionary. I've never heard any type of model like this before, which allows leaders to listen to their hearts, trust their instincts, and experience a dramatic shift in their worldview. And I just love horses. I naturally gravitate to them because I feel a spirituality with them, and I think that's what you're talking about with the heart-centeredness.
Yeah, and again, what I love about it is that, I mentioned the word simulator, so it gives us the opportunity to experiment, right? I mean, we've invested a lot in our lives, and so, maybe we don't want to shake the rebar, but this is a way for us to have an experience where we actually get to take a completely different approach, trust ourselves in a vastly different way, and it works. And when that happens, that clicks into your brain. It's like, wait a minute, we took a completely different approach, and we did not die. Right? The brain has two filters: safe or not safe. So when we have an experience like this, where we have an interaction, which I guess technically would not be safe, and all of a sudden, instead of not only not being safe, but we feel connected and alive, that changes our brain. That changes our
Absolutely.
perspective. That changes our understanding of what's possible. And now that we've done that with another species, let's go do that with each other.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Tell me, Lisa, if you can, of a client, someone who came, spent some time with you at Vista Caballo, and how you saw their life transform in front of your eyes. Can you describe that time?
Oh, my gosh, but pretty much every single client that's come here. I mean that absolutely sincerely. Just, incredible, remarkable stories from young ones, 14 years old, 16 years old, who felt a lot of anxiety, who were unsure about who they really were, and, at this again, very pivotal point in life where you kind of need to start to know who you are, but, knowing who you are at your core is different than knowing who you are from the environment that you've been raised in, which can be two vastly different things. And so watching that anxiety fall away within a day, watching that understanding of, wait a minute, this is who I really am within a couple of hours, all the way, to, top-level leaders who woke up to the realization that their approach was exactly what was cutting them off from the very people that they wanted to serve. And this gave them a new way to connect, to, I'll give you an example of one leader who came here, former British military captain, worked in security at Shell, and came here and had this experience of this incredible sense of connection when you lead through your heart, transformed their life, opened up a center of their own with horses that then served autistic children and children with cerebral palsy. Like I say, I could just go on and on and on, right? When we get to the truth of who we are, and then we can look at our life and say, that is not my life. That is something I created to give myself a sense of security or a sense of safety. But who I really am is this. I am a fully activated human being, and what I really want to do with my time here on this planet is to help people. That is what I've seen in every single transformation. I want to help my fellow human beings. And then they go and they do it.
And they go and they do it, and then from your impartation, they have been healed, and then they go and they heal others. So it's really quite a legacy that you and your husband have created. So I'm so amazed by you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Lisa, like I said, it's just been an honor to have a better understanding of your journey and a little bit of Vista Caballo. I hope I am blessed to be there one day and to, experience what you've shared. But if people are listening now and they want to reach out to you, how can they do that? How can they meet you on social media?
First of all, Nikki, you are always welcome here. Please know that.
Thank you.
How can people reach me? The easiest way to reach me is just to email me, lisa@vistacaballo.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You can also go to our website, which is www.vistacaballo.com. And those are the easiest ways to reach me.
Okay, fantastic. All righty. So Vista Caballo, caballo is horse in Spanish. Is that correct?
It is. So it's VistaCaballo.com. So we named it for the horsehead mountain that looks down the valley at us. It means from the perspective of the horse, Vista Caballo. But also it is because, the foundation of our work is really being seen through another species, seeing yourself through the perspective of the horse, and really learning who you are from that perspective.
Fantastic. Lisa, thank you so much for your time with us today. I'm moved by everything that you've shared with us, and I wish you all the best. I am excited about making a trek there to see you and experience all of that. I don't know if that's a word, but wonderfulness. That's the only word I can think of right now to kind of encapsulate the what you're doing. So I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
You're so welcome, Nikki. I can hardly wait to have you here, and to everybody that's listening. Just don't be afraid of the edge. Don't be afraid of the edge. Learn how to dance on it, and your life will transform.
I love it. Pearls of wisdom. Thank you so much. Lisa Arie, co-founder of Vista Caballo. Please reach out. Connect with her on social media. Stay safe. Stay strong. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Show with a very special guest, Lisa Arie. Take care for now.